You're listening to the 10 podcast where we teach, empower, and nurture minds. Today, I would like to welcome you back to the Nurturing Children's Confidence series, episode 10. And in this week's episode, we're looking at 3 concepts that we consider to be important for our children to grasp. The concept of self-love, self-respect, and setting boundaries. These 3 essential concepts can help children to grow into confident, resilient individuals. Let's start by exploring why self-respect is important for children and how the lack of self-respect can lead to people-pleasing behaviors and toxic relationships.
Welcome to the 10 Podcast, where we teach, empower, and nurture minds. This podcast is dedicated to providing parents and educators with valuable tips, strategies, and insights to support children and young with or without special educational needs. Your host is Jahseen Foster, a qualified special educational needs teacher and a certified children's coach. Join us as we explore ways to install confidence and self-esteem in children from a young age.
So what exactly is self-respect? Self-respect means recognizing that we are worthy of being treated with dignity, kindness, love, and care. For children, this concept can sometimes be challenging to grasp, but it is important to help them to understand that they deserve respect, care, and love just like everyone else. Self-respect is also about knowing that they don't have to accept unkindness or any form of mistreatment from others. Think of self-respect like a protective shield. When we have self-respect, we carry a shield that keeps out negativity and unkind behaviors from others. This shield doesn't mean that we are unfriendly or closed off. It simply protects us from anyone or anything that doesn't respect our value, our time, our space, our emotions, or our feelings. Imagine a child who knows their self-worth. If a friend teases them or pressure them to do something that they don't like, they can simply confidently say, "No, I don't want to do that," because that child knows their feelings are important and their values are important. This sense of self-respect makes them stand strong and choose what's best for them rather than choosing what's best for others, or rather than trying to please others. They pleases themselves. And this is because they know their self-worth. So naturally, they start expecting it from others too. And this is where boundaries come into play. If you've just joined us, you're listening to the 10 podcast where we teach, empower, and nurture minds. And in this week's episode, we're looking at why is it important for children to learn about the concepts of self-love, self-respect, and setting boundaries. Now, in this next segment, we're going to look at the connection between self-worth, people-pleasing habits, and toxic relationships. Now, let's talk about what happens when a child don't feel worthy or respected or cared for. They may fall into the trap of people-pleasing behaviors, doing things just to make other people happy, doing things just to make others like them. This can lead to unhealthy and toxic relationship where they feel that they have to change who they are to please others or to receive love from others. Think of a child that has people-pleasing behaviors and no self-respect as a chameleon. A chameleon changes its colors to match the surroundings, blending in to avoid standing out. In the same way, a child who people-please changes themselves to match what other people want instead of what's aligned with them. They might act differently or say things that they don't normally say and do things that they don't normally do, all in the spirit of pleasing others and keeping others happy, even if it makes them uncomfortable. But this practice is very unhealthy because it makes them lose touch of who they really are. Think about a child who has a friend that always demands that they do things a certain way. The child might keep saying yes, yes, yes to that person. Everything they want, they'll do it just to please them, even if it makes them feel uncomfortable, just to keep the peace. Over time, they might feel trapped, unable to express their own feelings. This can make them feel resentful or even fearful of losing that friendship, even though it's unhealthy. This is why it's important to teach our children to say no and not to always be obedient to other people's demands. They are allowed to say no and make choices and make their own decisions that align with their values and that feel right to them. And this is the start of practicing self-love. If you've just joined us, you're listening to the 10 podcasts where we teach, empower, and nurture minds. And in this week's episode, we're looking at the concepts of self-love, self-respect, and setting boundaries, why these concepts are important for our children. So what exactly is self-love? Self-love is all about appreciating and taking care of ourselves. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, socially. It's all about treating ourselves with love and kindness, just as you would a close friend or a family member. When children learn self-love, they start understanding that they are important and deserve kindness from themselves as well as others. Think of self-love like watering a plant. If we don't water a plant, it won't grow. Self-love is like the water that helps us to grow into strong, happy, confident people. Without it, children can start feeling small, unimportant, unloved, unwanted. So it's important to encourage children to practice self-love in simple ways. For example, they might spend time doing something that they enjoy, like drawing, playing outside, climbing a tree. They might enjoy singing in the mirror, or they might just practice speaking kindly to themselves by saying things like, I did my best, I am important, I am loved, I am cared for, I am enough. These are affirmations that you can say with your children every day to help them maintain self-love or establish self-love. Teaching children about self-love is not just all about loving themselves. It is a crucial part of preparing them to create and maintain boundaries with others. What are boundaries? How do we set healthy boundaries? How do we introduce them to our children? Boundaries are limits that we set to protect ourselves from being hurt or taken advantage of. When children understand boundaries, they learn how to communicate what's okay and what is not. This is a big part of self-respect because it shows they value their own well-being. But the concept of boundaries can be very difficult and tricky to introduce to children. When I'm introducing boundaries to children in my classroom, I always say that boundary is a fence of rule that surrounds you. It's like a fence around you, but it's a fence with rules. These rules tell people how you want to be treated and how you do not want to be treated. It tells people what you like, what you don't like. It also protects you, protects your feelings, your emotions. It protects your values. It protects your assets. It protects all the things that you like and cared for. It makes you feel safe. It makes you feel confident and in control of your life. So boundaries are important for our children to learn, not only to learn to set boundaries and understand boundaries, but also to respect other people's boundaries. Boundaries, like I said, is like a fence. And it doesn't keep everyone out. It just makes sure people know how to treat you and how to enter respectfully. Imagine a child who set boundaries with a friend. They might say, I don't like it when you tease me. Please stop. This shows that they respect themselves and teaches others how to treat them. When children learn to communicate their boundaries, they feel safe and more confident and in control of their life and feel more happy about their relationships. And finally, let's talk about the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who lift us up. We feel valued, supported, and encouraged. We all know that the company we keep influences us. When children are around people who genuinely care about them, they feel confident and empowered. Good friends are like sunshine on a rainy day. They bring light, warmth, and happiness into our lives. They don't make us feel unhappy, sad, and unimportant. They are positive. So we must encourage children to notice how they feel around different people and different family members. Do they feel happy, safe and respected, valued? Or do they feel pressured or hurt, nervous, anxious? Help them to understand that positive friends uplift us, encourage your dreams, and respect your boundaries. When children choose to surround themselves with people who treat them with kindness, love, and care, they naturally feel more self-respect and confident. So let us recap. Self-respect, self-love, and healthy boundaries are all connected, and they form the foundation of a child's self-worth. By teaching our children these values, we empower them to make better choices, set boundaries, and create positive relationships. It all starts with helping them to see their own worth and know that they deserve to be treated well, not only by others, but also by themselves. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Remember, if your child needs support in learning about self-love or setting boundaries, I'm here to guide you into building a strong sense of self-respect. Let's continue to teach, empower, and nurture the next generation. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.
To make the most of today's episode, download additional resources or contact Jahseen at www.tenyourmind.com. That's TENyourmind.com. You can also visit www.coachjahseen.com for more information.